Well, hello, mamas. Jessica Coulter here. We're talking about organization some more tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's a little later than I like to be, but we had a tornado warning, so I've been in the basement for a little bit of time. But I want to talk about mental organization today. Yesterday was physical, so if your teen keeps losing his stuff and doesn't know where his things are, then definitely catch yesterday's video. But today, let's talk about this idea of what does your teen need to do and when does he need to do it? Okay. Time management and organization very closely related, but we're focused on organization this week. So, before I go too much further, I like to ask questions. So, let me know if you asked your teen right now, or maybe tomorrow when it's a little earlier, if you asked your teen, what is due tomorrow? Like, what is on your plate, on your to do list? Would your teen have an answer? Like, would your teen just shrug? Would your teen say very specific things, this test, this homework, this project, or somewhere in between? Let me know down below because I'm curious to know how organized your teens are, how much they have their mental organization figured out. Okay. I also want to say I have an awesome freebie for you called the Learning Style Tools for Teens Guide. To get some more information about that, hang out with us. I'll explain it at the end, but it's a freebie for you and your teen. So, mental organization. Like I said, the idea here, the goal is that your teen knows what needs to be done. Okay. So we're going to break this down a couple different ways. And we'll talk about tools later this week, like the tools your teen needs to use to become organized. But for this idea of starting the process of helping your teen be mentally organized, your teen needs to have due dates figured out. Okay. What is the date of this assignment? When is that test? When is that project? All of those due dates. Your teen needs to also learn how to prioritize. Okay. Do I work on this project first? Do I start worrying about that test? Or do I focus on the homework that's due in 10 minutes? Okay. Your teen needs to have some kind of to-do list, some kind of planner, some kind of calendar. And again, that's getting into tools a little bit, but definitely some place to keep track of all this stuff. Okay. And I got to tell you, for your teen, an excellent source to know these due dates, to have any idea of what to expect and be able to start mentally organizing are going to be those syllabi, the syllabus for each class. Okay. And in this day and age, as so much stuff is online, another excellent resource for you mamas and most definitely for your teens to keep track of what's due when and what's coming up. So your teen, again, mentally organized, is the announcement section on Canvas, on Google Classroom, on Schoology, like whatever your teen is using, whatever the school is using, that announcement section can be a very, very important section for your teen when figuring out, okay, what should I be working on and like what's coming up. Okay, so let's dive into each of these individually. Before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody watching here on Facebook, and hello and welcome to everybody watching on YouTube. Be sure you subscribe, be sure you follow because there's more videos coming your way all about organization for your teen, let alone helping your teen love to learn by knowing how to learn through study skills like organization. Okay, because if I haven't said it yet, realize your teen who is organized is going to be better at learning than someone who isn't organized. Okay. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Jessica Coulter, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring and Study with Jessie. So I am all about study skills, all about learning, all about teens. All right. So prioritizing. I got to tell you, when I ask teens, well, what's more important, that test or that project or that homework? They don't generally know. Okay. Most of the students I work with, it comes down to, well, if the project's in a class I like, I want to do the project. Or if the homework's really, really easy, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. But they don't take into consideration the due dates. And a lot of teens don't also even consider the point values behind assignments. And even more importantly, I can think of lots of students I've worked with who are totally unaware of the percentages, the weight of different assignments in different classes. This is very specific to schools, but if you've been around here for a while, you probably know, you probably heard me say this before, a school that used to be local to me. I had a student that I worked with, and it was 80-20. Okay, 80%, literally 80% of students' grades came from tests. Only 20% came from homework. So this particular student, lots of test anxiety. Okay, he could do question 1 perfect, and then the exact same type of question, same type of formula, was later on, like maybe question 7, and he got it wrong. But I was confused because question 1 and question 7 were the same, but mentally something happened for him. So we had to go through some strategies and, help him realize, okay, I can answer question 1 and then 7. Who cares about 2 through 6? But anyway, that's off topic. We want your teens to know the due dates. We want to know what type of assignments, projects, tests. And we also want your teens to know, okay, what's the percentages? What's the weight? Because that's a big, big part of organization and knowing what needs to be done. Because once your team goes through the syllabus of each class, once he looks at the announcement section and makes his list, hopefully fills out its planner, puts it on his calendar, whatever system your team decides to do. And like I said, we'll talk about that more later this week. But your team's got his list, he's got his thing, piece of paper even, of what he needs to do. Well, the other question is, where does your teen start? Okay, so your teen, we can't let them just go, well, this is easy. It sounds fun. I like this class. I like this teacher. No, we can't let our teens do that because we've got to prioritize more efficiently. Okay, I'm so happy when teens tell me, well, yeah, this class is so much fun, or I like these types of projects. The problem is we've got to prioritize based on due dates. We've got to prioritize based on point values. We've got to prioritize based on what's going to have the biggest impact in the long run. Okay, so as we're ending the school year, organization, prioritization looks a little different than it did the first couple weeks of school. Okay, so if you've got a teen who, doesn't have the best grades right now, those big point assignments, those projects, those homework assignments, those are really important. If your teen's at a school that's, like I mentioned, tests are heavily weighted, quizzes are heavily weighted, the finals heavily weighted, again, that's got to be the priority. Okay, so definitely encourage your teens to know those due dates and then take into account the due dates before the fun factor. Okay, and we also got to help our teens realize when they're organizing, deciding what to do, even if the test is 2 weeks away, or even if it's, 2 days away, we want our teens to realize studying is homework. It needs to go on the to-do list. It needs to go on the calendar. It needs to be something your teen is organized about when it comes to making time to study. Okay, if you got questions, drop them below. But those were the big things I want to share. Okay, I definitely want you to know, want your teens to know, there's physical organization like we talked about yesterday, and mental organization like we talked about today. Not only where is my stuff, then it becomes okay, well, I know where my book is, I know where my folder is, but what was I supposed to do again? And that's what today is all about. So thanks for watching. Have an awesome night. Stay safe, especially if you're anywhere in the Midwest like I am. And remember, if you want that awesome freebie, the Learning Style Tools for Teens guide, drop the word learn down below. I'd love to send this tool guide to you. It essentially tells you what school supplies, what learning tools your teen needs based on his or her learning style. So that's an important part of organization. Is your teen only wants to organize in a way that's easy and fun and matches his preferences, her learning style. So definitely drop the word learn so I can send you the Learning Style Tools for Teens guide. So have a good night. Talk to you soon. And look forward to sharing more tips about organization with you so you can help your teen become organized and hopefully love to learn because he knows how to learn through study skills. Till tomorrow.